Good evening. This is Catherine Schweb. Istruzione 2025 is a proposal developed by Melissa, Alicia, Tricia, and me. Our goal is to design the ultimate learning environment for the year 2025 that integrates technology in a practical and meaningful way in level P through 16 classrooms. Our world is experiencing an information and digital revolution. Our young students are digital natives. In many schools across the nation, the curriculum and environment is obsolete. It's time to reboot the system. The learner of the future is part of the digital age and needs to learn how to sort through and process the overwhelming amount of information. For 2025, the teacher and the learner will be driven by a fast-paced living curriculum. A curriculum that is trying to prepare students for future courses and jobs that may not even exist today. Students are changing. Therefore, teachers need to change as well. Teachers need to be facilitators who interactively work with students. Will teachers be replaced by technology? No. Can students just watch a video and learn? Well, sometimes, but there is an inherent need of humans to be social. Learners want to be praised and nurtured. They want to be able to ask personalized questions and not just hear a one-way monologue on pre-calculus or another subject from a video like YouTube. Students want and need to be guided through instruction. However, what magic can occur if a smart and nurturing teacher is equipped with technology in the classroom? Wonders can happen if students are given the opportunity to create a video or a digital story. The curriculum section of our proposal involves 4 areas. The first is connectivism, which is a learning theory that is relevant to our digital age. How our learning must be interconnected. Connectivism emphasizes the importance and role of networks and connections between people and everything in between. Collective intelligence is having a diverse group of thinkers come together with their own unique ideas and experiences in an effort to further study a situation or problem. As a result, the group might reveal new findings or perhaps reveal questions that need to be scrutinized. It is more than shared knowledge. It is information known by all participating members of the digital community. Constructivism is an educational theory based on knowledge which is constructed by those who are the knowers. This is to say that when people reflect on their experiences, they gain a deeper understanding of the world we live in. When learning, each person naturally makes their own mental models when trying to make sense of something. Constructivism is therefore using these self-made mental models to gain understanding of new concepts. We are in effect teaching our learners to be self-directed learners and to be able to help themselves. Globalization is not a new concept, but the term itself is evolving. It is a process of integration and interaction among many different peoples and cultures throughout the world. Globalization has been about different countries trading goods and services. Now it is so much more. It's about trading ideas and information. Trading before was slow and took weeks and months. Now the trading of information and ideas can happen within minutes, even seconds, due to our level of communication and technology. How students can understand, use, and benefit from globalization is a major part of the curriculum for 2025.
Our firm understands the overwhelming need for educators to adapt and create new learning models in a response to the rapid emergence of new technologies. It is our goal to research and outline models that not only enrich the learning process for students, but also equips them with the skills to fully participate in an interconnected digital world. The future of education is dependent on individuals of all walks from around the world coming together to collaborate and organize systems that pave the way for sustaining education. One such system derived from this collaboration is the idea and practice of open education resources, are also known as open content. This philosophy of open content and open education recognizes that information is useful and distributable commodity among educators. Knowledge is negotiated, managed, and exchanged, evolving into pay-it-forward interactions and meaningful collaborations. The open content movement is not a new practice. However, it is a response to the rising cost of education, the desire to provide access to learning in underdeveloped areas where access is difficult, and an expression of student choice about when and how to learn. Many schools and institutions are finding value for educators and students who practice open content. The K-12 Educational Commons organization was a project designed to promote and publish open courseware content for K-12 schools. Alongside this organization is the Open High School of Utah, which is an online charter high school that leverages next-generation learning technology and strategic one-on-one tutoring to provide students with significantly better learning experiences. Schools who choose to encourage students and educators to practice open content are providing much more than access to information. They are providing the opportunity to develop an indispensable skill of finding, evaluating, interpreting, and repurposing resources that will take them far into the future. These schools are responding to the emerging trends of new technologies. Students of today are demanding an educational evolution, an evolution that allows for success in an interconnected virtual and global world where anything is possible. Schools can begin to meet these demands by being active consumers and participants of the emerging trends highlighted in the 2011 Horizon Report. Society embraces new technologies, so why shouldn't schools? Donors are eager to finance innovation and collaborative consumption. Our firm is committed to a promising future. As we strive for the ultimate learning environment of 2025, we will assist in answering the call to adopting and adjusting school systems to model the very skills that will empower students of the 21st century and beyond. To achieve such success, we believe the ideal learning environment of the future will require the cooperation of all stakeholders in the areas of curriculum, learning spaces, and sustainability.
Learning spaces are vital to the learning process. They all serve the same purpose, aiding in the instruction of students, but they are not a one-size-fits-all meeting space. Studies have shown that learning spaces need to be omnipresent and changing with the demands of students. Four areas that need to be considered are community-based learning centers, such as a Boys and Girls Club or YMCA, knowledge-centered learning spaces, such as traditional classrooms, libraries, or computer databases, learner-sitting learning spaces, which are most conducive learning spaces for the 21st century learner, as they can go wherever they go, and finally assessment-based learning centers, most likely testing centers, and an example may be a community college administering the ACT or SAT. The locations or spaces need to be created with the learner in mind. It can be created using some of the following options. The physical learning space. This location should be an alcove for learning. Rather than the traditional rows of desks, students should have central meeting spaces for shared instruction partnered with both resource spaces and working spaces. This provides well for a self-construction of knowledge. These photos are some options that have been used and had success. Next is the global learning space. As educators of students in the year 2025, it is to be expected that technology will hopefully be more available and students will have access to learning opportunities in more locations or places. When creating schools and classrooms, it is important to allow space where students can access global learning opportunities. Some examples would be accessing online partners, file sharing such as Google Docs, and using tools such as YouTube or Moodle. Another element of global learning is the use of virtual learning spaces such as Second Life. It is important that teachers instruct students on how to use online learning simulators so that they may interact and learn from and with students in another location. Global learning has many positive outcomes, such as the need for less class space. The use of tools like Second Life can be used from laptops or handheld devices from anywhere, including the hallway. It also allows students to have interface with various cultures. Having a multicultural point of view is vital in today and especially tomorrow's workforce. Finally, using global learning spaces can allow a teacher to facilitate learning to students with disabilities or the inability to come to class. An example may be a student in a remote area in Alaska. The last learning space to be addressed is the Personal Learning Environment, or PLE, also known as the Personal Learning Network. According to Professor Lackney, creating an integrated, flexible, and complementary virtual learning space and distance learning programs that support and supplement the physical school and community learning center. Provide digital, audio, video, and computer links to and within all parts of the Community Learning Center and to tertiary learning centers and sources such as business and community organizations, community colleges, and institutions of higher learning. Personal learning tools can be developed by individuals when encouraged by teachers, parents, guardians, and peers.
Sustaining the vision. How do we get to the ideal classroom of 2025 and stay there? The classroom of 2025 will need to incorporate hybrid education. This practice requires educators to meet the needs of their students through face-to-face interaction while incorporating an online component. Educators will need to be trained to utilize both of these components effectively within their classroom. As it is difficult to educate students utilizing techniques that were not in use when the educator was within the classroom, continuous learning will be key. While we do call for an increased education for educators, the medium for this training must keep in mind the time crunch that most teachers find themselves in. Thus, this team advocates for the modular curriculum of webinars. Through the use of an online training program, educators are able to pick and choose the sessions they attend and when they attend them. In this way, teachers will be capable of continuing their education while continuing the day-to-day responsibilities of all teachers. The skills required by employers have continued to evolve. As of 2000, the abstract tasks have taken precedency, with both manual and routine tasks taking a dive. These findings must play a major role in how educators train their students. The major hurdle for most educators will be to train their students for a workforce that hasn't even been imagined yet. Within his Edutopia article, World Without Walls, Learning Well with Others, Will Richardson states, "We as educators need to reconsider our roles in students' lives, to think of ourselves as connectors first and content experts second." In order to sustain this goal, an online classroom management system must be created for teachers of all levels of technological backgrounds. The CMS of 2025 must be free, cloud-based, user-friendly, and constantly evolving. While many educators are willing to put their hard-earned cash back into their classroom, a CMS that is not free will not be sustainable. One resource that meets the needs of the 2025 CMS is Edmodo. Launched in September 2008, the site has remained free and grown into a safe social networking site focused on educational content. In addition, Edmodo has also created resources for training educators and students and parents. As previously stated, this team acknowledges the need for continued, flexible, ubiquitous education for teachers. Edmodo offers free training materials that meets this team vision for 2025. For any user of Web 2.0, cloud computing has become the natural progression of online interaction. This type of data storage allows users to save their files to an off-site server. By saving data to the cloud, users are then able to tap into these resources from any smart device. In order for the interconnected classroom of 2025 to be sustained, educators must upgrade their online bandwidth to support technology tools and solutions such as cloud computing. One can imagine bandwidth as a drain pipe. When a network is stuck with a small amount of bandwidth, they are stuck with a skinny drain pipe. While the water may withdraw from the pool, it does so slowly. Yet if one does have a fat drain pipe, the water is able to flow quickly and easily without disruption. This quick and easy flow of internet is what the classroom of 2025 will require to be sustained.